So I've been asked many times how I learned to play the guitar. Pretty much the answer is YouTube. Before YouTube, I am totally self-taught. I started playing when I was about 17 years old. My dad had played guitar my entire life. He had 2 acoustic guitars in the house, and I just picked them up and I started screwing around with them and trying to teach myself a few different things. This was before the days of YouTube. And this video is not meant to be a guitar lesson, but a few basics to get you started if that's something you're interested in doing. One of the things that I think contributed to me learning the guitar the best was just experimenting with it, picking it up, playing it, practicing it, and figuring it out. Before you start learning songs and chords and all this kind of stuff, work on your technique. And what I mean by that is be able to play a chord without the strings buzzing. So if you're not pressing the strings down all the way, or if you're touching other strings, you're gonna get a crappy sound. So work on that and just do that by practicing a few different chord formations. But when I really started learning guitar, here's what I did that really got me started. I don't really know music theory. I don't really read music. I know the very basics, but I don't use it at all in my playing. I do know the names of the major and minor chords. So there's a major chord and there's a minor equivalent to those chords. And so what I did was taught myself all of the major chords, and that's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Learn those and then play around with each and every one of those. So if you took the C chord, for example, you'll realize that your pinky is still left hanging out here and there's other places you can put it. So I just started experimenting. Okay, where could I stick the pinky, keep it clean, that would make this chord sound different or better? Here's your normal C chord. Throw the pinky right here. Or what about the next string? Or what if you took a finger off? Or what if you hammered it on? Made that up just right now. That's what I mean. Just play around with it. Take fingers off, put fingers on, and then try those positionings, the C position or any other chord position all the way up the neck, and you'll realize other ones sound good too. So C, same fingering, just slide it up. And you can just play around with chords like that for days. And I feel like I taught myself the basics of playing guitar just by doing those things, just experimenting. You can't learn to play guitar just by watching a couple videos and picking it up a couple minutes a day. It does require practice and a long-term commitment to learning it. Your next best friend is just YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. There are 100,000 videos out there of people teaching guitar, teaching certain licks. And my biggest advice on that, and I'm guilty of this, I used to see a YouTube video or want to learn how to play a certain song or whatever it was. I'd go watch the video and then I'm like, my fingers just can't do that. Like I can't figure it out. But that's not true, because if they can play it, you can play it. It just takes practice, and you're retraining your muscles and your finger memory to do something that you're not quite used to. But if you take the time to do it, it'll work. You just have to take that time and practice it. There's many songs that I can play now that I couldn't play. I'll give you a quick example. There's a Coldplay song called Everglow that I loved the moment it came out, and I found this guy who did this really nice finger picking version of it online. And so he was teaching a quick tutorial on how to do it, and I'm not really good with my right hand finger picking. I'm trying to practice that more often. I usually use a pick. He did this really nice version of it and I wanted to learn it. And it took me forever because my fingers were just not used to playing in that kind of way. And I finally figured it out. You can ask Carrie, I sat here for hours just playing the same exact thing over and over again until I had it smooth. But this is what it sounds like here. anyway, let's jump into some playing. You know, it's funny, I used to love in the band just playing hard rock stuff, just stuff that you could headbang to. When you're performing live, I feel like there's just such a fun energy to stuff like that. Maybe it's that I'm getting older, maybe it's that I'm not performing anymore, I'm just sitting in the house, but I love jazzy voiced chords and soloing over the top of them. I put my guitar on the clean setting and I turn on some reverb, and that's about it. But one of my favorite things to do is get the loop pedal out and just pick some chords and then solo on top of them. So you could start by just figuring out a quick progression, it could be whatever you want, and then just practice soloing over the top of it. Appreciate you guys listening. That's basically it. If you have any questions about the guitar, let me know. I do want to do a more in-depth video on some how-tos, some basics of getting started with the guitar, if that at all interests you. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them in the comments. I want to be as interactive as possible. If you guys are new to my channel, please say hello, introduce yourself, and I will reply back to you. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys later. Am I in focus? Anybody can do the metal stuff where they're just like... I call that musical masturbation, where people just show off and play the fastest and the loudest that they can.